Alright, y'all boys, we back with another video. Yeah, I'm basically back. I'm going to be doing videos now. I'm going to try to get into it. I'm going to be pacing myself slow, so don't expect content to be the same as it was before just yet until I get into like the groove. I gotta enter the goon state before I finally, go a little too crazy and start pumping out videos like I was before. I gotta get used to it. But anyways, yeah, back from my vacation, I guess you could say. Basically, I was kind of like out of state doing some work and stuff like that, and I've just been very swamped and very busy, doing a lot of hours, doing a lot of projects, things like that. But here we are, back in the flesh, the blood, ready to play some Jujutsu Kaisen. Anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna do a showcase on CHOSO, and I feel like I should probably do a review on the character first before I actually do a showcase on him. So that's exactly what we're going to do today, and yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, so here we are with CHOSO. So basically the new green CHOSO is going to be coming to global, and I'm going to review whether he's going to be worth summoning on. Now, he is a standard character and a green DPS, so for those who did get Honored Gojo, he is pretty uninteresting. It's quite insane that they basically already tried to kind of like power creep the new Gojo. I mean, arguably, I think CHOSO is a better option because he fills the role of not only an SS tier like DPS, but also a green debuffer and support. So he has like, more uses, right? Like if you're a free to play player, you're definitely going to want to pick up him just because I feel like you're going to be able to use him in more different scenarios than just trying to use him as a damage dealer. CHOSO is actually really simple. He's very similar to Team Ghetto. His role would fall under what's called debuffer, but his damage is so insane that he gaps even S tier DPS units, making him one of the strongest green DPS while also one of the best green type debuffers. Now, his gimmick usually revolves around his skill 2, which is his two-phase self-buff skill. So just to give you kind of like, I guess, a comparison, if you're familiar with Dragon Ball, kind of imagine it as Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2. So you use his skill 2 at the start to buff yourself, and then reuse the skill to enter the flowing state, the flowing red skill stack state, and an even stronger buff state, which increases his Jujutsu, his Taijutsu, and his damage dealt by 50%. On top of that, he decreases his own damage received by 60% for 6 turns. It also deals an insane 400% Taijutsu and 300% Jujutsu damage, while also implying an increased enemy's damage received debuff for green types. It is a high cost skill for 30 curse energy, so you want to use it to reapply the flowing red skill state, stack state, before it runs out, right? Now, you have his skill 1. So skill 1 is a basic combined damage skill, which also applies poison for 3 turns. However, during his flowing red skill stack state, it deals 400% multiplier damage while also applying a stronger poison and increasing the enemy's damage received for green types by 30% for 3 turns. Now, this is literally a skill 3 on other characters, and this guy has it on the skill 1, so he's pretty insane. Then you have his skill 3. Now, his skill 3 is what you want to primarily use for damaging and debuffing. It deals 600% Jujutsu damage and then applies poison, increases the damage received for green types by 50% for 3 turns, and inflicts disruption for 2 turns with 100% chance. It's so fucking stacked, I literally couldn't believe what I was reading. Insane damage, damage over time damage, god tier debuff unit, basically good utility. It's literally, he has a lot of stuff going for him that makes him very good. And then last but not least, we have his ultimate. So during his red scale stack state, it's basically his skill 3, but with a 1300% Jujutsu damage modifier, so you'll just do a lot more damage. That's basically about it. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Now, as for his auto skill, it's pretty simple. On turn 8, he gets a permanent 30% Jujutsu stat increase and recovers 30 curse energy once. Now, how to play him. Now, this is obviously what a lot of players are going to probably want to know after getting the character. As mentioned, you'll be starting off by applying the flowing red scale buff with his skill 2, then reapplying it to get the flowing red scale stack buff. This will be kept up for 6 turns. During these, the most optimal rotation would be skill 1, skill 3, then ultimate, and then reapply the buff on the 5th turn to keep it consistent. It really depends on your curse energy management and whether you can make sure you keep the flowing red skill stack buff consistently active. So it's going to be dependent on what kind of stage you're doing, if the enemies, drain curse energy, things like that. You can alternatively use skill 2 into a 1, or 2 skill 1s to preserve cursed energy, and then use the skill 2 again to enter the stack state. Alright, so here we are on the teams. So let's get right into it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about CHOSO and then the characters that you can kind of use around him. I'm not going to really do too much demonstrations, but I'll kind of like talk about it. So even though CHOSO has a few combined Jujutsu and Taijutsu skills, his primary stat is Jujutsu, so keep this in mind when kind of building the character. So I think for his recollection bit, I would basically recommend using Pride, or using the Honored Gojo recollection bit. And if you're using him as a support or debuffer, then I would recommend using his own banner recollection bit, or using Kamo's archery lesson. As you already know, Kamo's archery lesson, a lot of players should have this already. It's been in the game for a while now, and it's really, really good. So that's probably what you would want to be using on him. Now for his teams, obviously his best partners are going to be Teen Shoko, Teen Geto, and Honored Gojo, because Teen Shoko is literally juiced. Teen Geto literally being an amazing debuffer for the green still, while also outputting tremendous amounts of damage. Then you have Honored Gojo, who, if you're using him in your actual DPS role, you could obviously use CHOSO as the supportive role. He's going to be, your Honored Gojo is going to be dishing out a lot of damage. Again, you use both of these together, they're going to be crazy together. You could even use Domain Gojo, but I'm just giving you an example that you do have Honored Gojo to be able to work with CHOSO so well. Green team is basically insanely stacked. You should basically be able to clear literally everything in the game with these. Literally, like, it's just insane how stacked that they make green with all these debuffers, supporting characters, and their damage output. So yeah, CHOSO's in a good spot right now. I would probably put CHOSO like on slot 3, and then put Honored Gojo on slot 4, and then with Teen Geto probably be on the second slot, and Teen Shoko over here on the first slot. And that would basically be your team setup. Anyways, we reached the ending or conclusion of the video, so I'm gonna just kind of talk about what I'm gonna be doing after as well. So you're gonna see in the showcase, but the devs glazed the fuck out of this unit, basically to death. Like, CHOSO in terms of value is on the same tier as Teen Shoko. Like, I don't see how he can't be, because like he literally has everything. He's like good support, debuffer, while also having crazy damage. Like, being able to not just function as a DPS, but also as a debuffer, and then being one of the best in both respectively, is just literally absurd. Honestly, I kind of feel bad for global players who summoned on Honored Gojo. I genuinely believe CHOSO is actually way more valuable unit and a better pickup. But then again, you could also keep in mind that Honored Gojo is limited, and then CHOSO will eventually be added to the standard pool in like 2026, somewhere around there. So do keep that in mind. But CHOSO, I feel like, is much better, in my opinion, than Honored Gojo. He's very simple as well. But I mean, it's not like Honored Gojo got power crept or anything by him. Like, they're still both tremendous units. I just believe, you know, CHOSO will probably have better longevity. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching the video. Yeah, again, I am back, so we're gonna be trying to do these videos. I do apologize if I had like some stops here and there. Normally I would just speak and just go like very fluidly, you know, like all my words would just come out, but you know, I kind of have to backtrack a little bit because, you know, I'm getting used to speaking again like this, you know, for like videos. But yeah, anyways, do stay tuned. I am going to be putting out more content. This is only the beginning of the return. Anyways, I appreciate y'all boys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.